Hello friends, it's day 15 of the January Pantry Challenge. Come on into my kitchen and see what's going on today. So it's Monday. Do you ever get a case of the Mondays? I think we all do. So this morning we kept breakfast very simple. My husband had a couple of fried eggs and nothing else. And I had a bowl of granola and nothing else. So we got our day started and that was that. I'm fixing my lunch right now and I have some plans for this afternoon. Come on down to the counter and see what's for lunch. We still have some of this deli meat that we bought a little while ago. This one is roast beef. Oh, there's a couple of really thick slices here. I wasn't anticipating that. That'll leave enough for another sandwich. This chunk is quite thick and there's a big glob of fat on it. I think I'll share that with the dog. There's another piece with the big glob of fat on it. The dog can have that too. Of course she begs in the kitchen for a reason. Look at the stuff I throw at her. It's all delicious. So I have my roast beef. I'm going to put some of that smoked cheddar on there. And these are pretty thin slices, so I don't mind putting on 6 little pieces because it's so thin. And we have a jar of horseradish sauce. I'm going to go easy on this. I love it. I don't know how my stomach is going to love it. But I need to have flavor in my food. Now I have to admit, this package of wraps was not sealed properly in the refrigerator, so this edge has gone a little brittle. Let's see what I can do to make this into a decent sandwich. I might have to crack this. Yeah, that'll work. Get the cheese back in there and then wrap that all up tight. Oh, that broke off. Let's just get rid of that. And back to the old trusty sidekick, this sandwich press, seam side down. Oh, let's push that cheese in there. And push that cheese in there. And let's get this started. Well, there is my beautiful sandwich. It's got a big crack in it today, but that's because of the brittle wrap. Let's move this sandwich press and unplug it. And there we have some lunch. I'm going to have a vanilla yogurt, a few pickled beets, and my roast beef sandwich. Oh, I'll be back in a little bit. I have a project to do today. We had this open package of muffin mix in the cupboard, blueberry buttermilk flavor. After having the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free biscuit mix go rancid on us, I figured we might as well use this up before it spoils too. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, right? Well, we definitely lost out on those cheddar biscuits I made with stew the other day, so I'm not going to let this go to waste. Hubby will typically have 3 or 4 coffees and no food. Having at least a muffin to throw in his belly is a good thing. Okay, the alarm has gone off that my timer has gone off for the muffins. Let's have a look. Is that toothpick coming out clear? It sure is. Excellent. The muffins are done. I might leave them in for 2 more minutes. I'm going to shut the oven off and leave them in for 2 more minutes just to brown them up a little bit. Okay, that helped a little. They're a little more browned. And I'm just going to remove, ow, they are hot. Let me get some tongs. They're super hot. Let's try this way. I know Dan won't eat these quickly. He'll probably eat 2 or 3 and then they'll sit for 3 days. Half of them will spoil if I don't put them away in the freezer and then bring them out again in a few days. So that's how I'm going to handle this. I'll let them cool fully and I'll put 6 of them away in the freezer and then I'll bring them out in a couple of days after the first original 6 are gone. Fresh blueberry muffins, still warm. Yogurt in the crock pot, in the Instant Pot, ready to go overnight. I have a live stream at 8 o'clock this evening, so I have a 2-hour window and I'm uploading a video right now. It's a Monday. We have stew left over from Saturday, so we're just going to have leftover stew for dinner. Nothing really exciting. And because the biscuits didn't turn out, and I didn't make biscuits, I made blueberry muffins instead, it's probably just going to be stew. But it's going to be delicious just the same. There we go. I've got that on medium and we just have to heat that through and that will be dinner. When we ate this the other night, Dan commented on it being tomatoey on screen, so that's not a surprise. And I found it very tomatoey as well, and tonight I'm smelling the tomato and I'm thinking I need to change it up. I'm going to put some Worcestershire, or Worcester, whatever, who's your sister sauce. That might be all it needs to alter that tomato balance. It could have probably used some beef bouillon or something when I was making it instead of all that tomato, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very beefy. I'm going to steal a taste and see if that improved it. It's about 75% there, and I don't want to put any more of that in. Let's try a little bit of steak sauce. Come on, out of the bottle. There we go. That was about a tablespoon or so. That might just be the ticket. If it's not, I'm not adding anything else because I don't want to ruin it. With a fresh spoon, let's try again. There's still something missing, but I'm not going to alter it any further. That's for dinner. Gotta use up the leftovers too. Hello friends, it's day 16. I was doing yogurt this morning and I just grabbed a smoothie, and I'm gonna have my wrap sandwich the same as I had yesterday. It's gonna be roast beef with smoked cheddar, but I put horseradish on it yesterday and I apparently didn't put enough on because I didn't even taste it. So I'm going to up my game a little bit on that. I have some things taken out for dinner tonight. I'm kind of excited to get that one pulled together. I do have to tell you though, $50 does not work for us. We are still trying to cut ourselves back a bit, but we're easily going $75 a week. And if that's how much we need, then that's what we're gonna need. Between Diet Coke and frozen blueberries, dairy products, and fresh vegetables for greens, salads and such, we do need probably $75. $50 doesn't get you very much groceries anymore, as I showed in the last video with that little grocery haul we did. I did ask Dan to run to the grocery store yesterday, and he spent another $35, so we're closer to $100 now this week. The things that he got were fresh. There was a bag of lemons, and that'll last more than one meal. The other thing he picked up was a cluster of tomatoes. We need tomatoes for tonight's salad, but if we've got and he bought a 3-pack of romaine lettuce. So the 3-pack of lettuce is going to need more than one tomato, but that will also last us several days, and that will last us into next week for sure. What are we supposed to do? Mangoes, lemons, blueberries we don't grow on the property. Tomatoes are out of season. Lettuce is out of season, so there's things we have to buy to maintain a fully rounded diet. I'm not going to give myself a hard time for this. I'm not going to feel shame for this. It's just what it is. We would normally be spending $200, $250 a week on groceries. So cutting it down to 75 or cutting it down to even keeping it under 100 is good for us. 50 was a little out of proportion to what we normally would be consuming. But we are using a lot of products out of the pantry, out of the freezer, and now I'm diving into my bakery products. So we're making progress. I'm going down to the countertop now to prepare my roast beef wrap. This much of the smoked cheddar left, so I'll be using that up and making that product, consuming the rest of that. And I have just a little bit of the roast beef lunch meat left. If I don't do this now, it could sit there for 4 or 5 days and end up in the garbage can instead. It's lunchtime. Use the products that are available. Don't let it go to waste. There is my delicious sandwich. It's really not much to look at, but it's going to be delicious. Today is Try It Tuesday, where we try new ethnic foods. I did have this elaborate meal plan all figured out, and I'm running behind. And it is already 10 after 6. It's time to eat very soon. So I have to figure this out and take some shortcuts. Come down to the countertop and see what I do and the results I get. I do have canned potatoes, but I want to use fresh ones for this, and I got Dan to pick these up yesterday. This is one of the things that put us over our budget. They feel like they're still wet. I'm going to basically cut these into bite-sized pieces. They're already beautifully yellow, so that helps with the lemon part of this meal. It gives you the impression that while you're eating it, you get that bite of lemon that it's going to match. There are a few spots on some of these. I'll just trim that up. I'm going to give them a rinse here when I'm done. And I think that's going to be plenty of potatoes for the two of us. Dan is trying to cut back on his carbs. Not that he's going keto or eliminating his carbs completely, just cutting back a little. So the rice and the potatoes are being pushed to a smaller portion, while the salads and vegetables are being pushed to a larger portion. Instead of boiling those in water, I'm going to boil those in chicken broth and lemon juice. So I've put in about another half cup just to top that up. I've also washed my lemons, and I really love lemon zest. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so that's most of the zest of one lemon. That's plenty. And I'm going to use the juice out of at least one lemon. I'll see how tart it really is. You certainly could do this with just bottled lemon juice, but most bottled lemon juice has sulfites in it, and that is to keep its color true. And sulfites give me a migraine, so I'm not doing it. I only use the lemon juice as I have to in my preserving, a tablespoon at a time. I would rather use real lemon juice. That looks like a good quarter cup of lemon juice there. So there we go. I've poured in the juice of a second lemon. We're going to have almost half a cup of lemon juice. That is going to make this quite lemony, and it's going to be delicious. Now, let's also add some garlic and other seasoning. I could put in fresh garlic, but my fresh garlic is very mild, so I'm going to use garlic powder. And I'm going to use some cumin, just because it just has a distinct flavor. And what is Greek cooking without oregano? So I'm going to put in a bunch of oregano. There is a shop in Bowmanville, Ontario, that makes a fantastic Greek rice and potato together, and it's lemon and chicken broth, and the place is called iGreek. If you're ever in Bowmanville, Ontario, stop at iGreek, I swear. Let's boil those potatoes. I melted butter in the pan because this souvlaki chicken is already in a marinade that has olive oil in it, so I just wanted to add the flavor of butter. That marinade is all going to boil off. It had lemon juice and olive oil and all kinds of herbs. I can see chunks of garlic and chunks of oregano, and there's probably thyme or rosemary or something else in there. I don't know where I got the recipe from right now. It's been, like I said, this was done in November. So I'm just going to brown these. And that's all I have to do with that, and the potatoes have to boil. So while that's going, I'm going to switch over here and make a salad. So here we have somewhat of a Greek salad with peppers and tomatoes, feta cheese, and black olives. Here we have our chicken, the potatoes that were boiled in chicken broth and lemon juice with herbs. They should be roasted, but I don't have time tonight to do that. And a nice big glob of homemade tzatziki sauce. And there we have Dan's portion, as should be half a plate of vegetables. I will give this dinner a try. Let's start with a piece of chicken. It looks great. The whole meal looks great. The marinade soaked all the way into that meat. When I made it, I diced up the chicken, I put the marinade ingredients on it in a baggie, and I froze it the way it was, and then I defrosted it, so it basically marinated all day today while it was defrosting in the fridge. How did the lemon potatoes turn out? That's good. It could use a stronger chicken broth, and maybe even more lemon juice than what I used. But it's good. And if they were roasted in the oven in the lemon broth, the lemon chicken broth, that would have soaked in even deeper. And yeah, I'm happy with that. That's what's for dinner. Hey friends, it's a pretty lazy day around here on the homestead, and my husband just fixed his lunch really quick and asked me if I wanted some, so I said, sure. Come on down to the countertop and see what we're having. It's really simple. So there we have it. A couple of crackers. There's 4 crackers and some cheese. There's some hot dogs, and there's a bit of my zucchini relish that I love so much. And that's lunch. We do have a more substantial dinner planned, so stick around and see what we pull together for that. Hey friends, it's day 17. Here we are at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm finally getting around to doing something. I didn't clue into the fact I didn't sleep well. I had a headache. My muscles are kind of achy and sore. I didn't put it all together. I had a tetanus shot yesterday. The day before, I bumped my head and scratched it on an exposed nail. So I thought, that's a rusty nail outside in a barnyard. I should probably get a tetanus shot. I don't know how long it's been since I had one. It turns out it was only 10 years, but I thought, you know, my memory was telling me it could be 25 years. So I had the tetanus shot, and my immune system's going a little haywire with it. And I just had a nap in the middle of the afternoon. So yeah, I've got some stuff to do, things that I was slacking off on this morning. I'm going to get myself a drink of water, and I'm going to clean up my kitchen. My sweet husband is fixing dinner tonight. I have some things to do. This is my Instant Pot. I used it 2 days ago and I didn't put it away. It's all clean. It's all ready to go. I just didn't get around to it yesterday afternoon or this morning. Give me a second. I'll speed through this. I was delaying doing that, and it took about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. I don't know what the big deal was. I'm going to make sure I'm hydrated today, having a glass of milk, and I'll get back to that water in a minute. As you may have noticed, I loaded my dishwasher and turned it on. So if you hear any noise while I'm doing my video, that's the everyday life on the Buttercup and Fern homestead. Everybody has to do dishes or clean house in some way. It's a reality. Can't get more real than that. So I washed my knives, I washed all my reusable straws, I've got the dishwasher running, I wiped off my countertops. Next, I have a baking project to do. I have a boxed cake mix here. It was purchased for my husband because he probably was purchased by my husband because it is carrot cake, and that's one of his favorites. The expiry date is July. Let's have a look and see if it smells rancid like the last baking product I used when it's expired. Now there has been reports probably 10 or 12 years ago now that cake mixes and stuff can go bad and can actually carry a bacteria that can make you sick. And that might have just been a marketing ploy. Let's give that a sniff. Oh. It smells very plasticky, and it smells very much like old Play-Doh. It's garbage. I have a I have a gluten-free carrot cake mix. Let's give that one a sniff and see what I think of that. This one's good until March. I think we should be good. Or is it July? It says 0307. In the food industry, it's day, month, year. So that would be, the month would be 7. That would be July. That'll be great. Okay, let's make a cake. I've greased this pan. Now, my husband came down while I was filming. Lord love him. And he put dinner in the oven. So my cake has to go in the toaster oven. The only way it'll go in the toaster oven is, the only dish we have to go in the toaster oven is this 7 by 11 pan that we've folded the corners up. That's the only way the door on the ovens will shut. The door is on the oven. So I've used butter to grease this pan, and I'm going to use some of the mix to coat the pan to help it to be non-stick. I need a little bit more. This is a gluten-free mix, so I wouldn't just grab flour out of the cupboard for this anyways. There we go. I need 2 eggs. One, 2, 3/4 of a cup of canola oil. Well, I don't like to use canola oil. Please don't hate on me for using Mazola. It's what's in the cupboard. If you have a suggestion for baked goods for oil that's not olive oil, then let me know, please. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Well, that's a teaspoon. I'm just reading the instructions off of the bag. Beat 2 eggs and 3/4 of a cup of oil and a teaspoon of vanilla. It doesn't say how long to boil or to mix them, whip them or anything. It just says to beat them. Add 1½ cups of raw grated carrots, 2/3 of a cup of raisins. I'm sure you could use nuts instead or as well, but we're good with raisins. And 1 cup of crushed drained pineapple. There was more liquid in that can than I thought. Oh, I was supposed to stir in the dry mix first. Ugh, such a dummy. How did I miss that single line? It's even separated. Okay, so in goes the mix. Maybe this is why I don't bake, because I'm too distracted by other thoughts, and I squirrel a little. And I miss steps. I mean, it's right there in front of me. I have the recipe like right within arm's reach. And I still messed it up. Just gonna make sure it's not dry patches on the bottom anywhere. And there you go. Pour into a 9 by 11 pan or 2 small round pans and bake at 350. Okay, I've got my toaster oven preheating. This is supposed to take 40 to 45 minutes as a cake, or 18 to 20 minutes as muffins. Well, my muffin pan doesn't fit in the toaster oven either. Let's see how well this fits. There's enough room. There we go. There's enough room. I think that pineapple is going to make that super moist. That'll be delicious. The dishwasher hasn't even finished running yet, and I have 10 or 12 dishes on the counter already on the other side. It's never ending. So I'm going to put this carrot cake in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. I'll see you when it's done. There is my sweet man fixing dinner for the family. We got these pork ribs from a neighbor. We have no idea how they're going to turn out. A lot of the products we've gotten have had a freezer burn flavor to them, even if you can't visibly see a freezer burn. If you order your meat or get your meat wrapped in paper from the butcher, and there's the dog wanting out. If you get your meat wrapped in the pink paper, butcher paper from the butcher or from your meat order, how do you keep it from getting freezer burned? Is there something else you do to it to make it last a little longer? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your method is. I put that in the toaster oven and I set the timer for 35 minutes. Although the package says 40 to 45 minutes, I just find the toaster oven cooks things really quickly. That toothpick is coming out clean. It does look like it's sagged in the middle a bit, but it's firm. It's not mushy or anything. So now we're going to let that cool, and I'll be back again. So this is it for day 17 of the January Pantry Challenge. We're having ribs, Brussels sprouts, and rice for dinner. Thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to check out hashtag 3 Rivers Challenge, or go to YouTube and check out 3 Rivers Homestead. She's been running this challenge for several years, and the hashtag 3 Rivers Challenge will bring you to all kinds of other people who are also contributing to this challenge and participating. What a great way to build community and see what other people are doing to help make ends meet, see what other people are doing to use up stuff in their pantry that they may have been ignoring for a little too long. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. See you next time.